Hey, what is going on, Twintendo Nation? Hope you're having an awesome day. Welcome to the first proper Pokemon Mystery Dungeon video on the channel since 2015, since I covered Super Mystery Dungeon. Obviously, we got Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, quite a mouthful, announced last week, and I did a reaction video, and I also played the first part of the game, the demo. But in terms of an actual video that I'm going to sit down, script and write, this is the first one of hopefully many, and this is 10 things you need to know about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. So we got 10 very interesting facts to talk about. So if you do enjoy this video and you're looking forward to Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX just like me, make sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe to stay up to date with everything Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Right. Let's start off with the first fact. So I'm going to keep it basic for the first one, just because there are some people who obviously have never played a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game. And this is the most obvious thing. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX is a remake of the much beloved Blue Rescue Team and Red Rescue Team, which were on the Nintendo DS and Game Boy Advance respectively. Now originally these released in 2005 in Japan, so these games will be 15 years old this year, so a remake is very much appreciated. Now a thing to note about the similarities between these two games, obviously the originals and the remake, is the box art is incredibly similar. So in the original games, the Blue Rescue Team was essentially the top half of the artwork, and Red Rescue Team, which was the Game Boy Advance game, was the bottom half of the artwork, and obviously Rescue Team DX combines the two, and honestly the artwork looks amazing in the original and the new one. It's really nice to see them actually combined. My personal favourite is probably the original, just because I love Ken Sugimori's artwork. But this new artwork for Rescue Team DX looks beautiful, much more colourful, and I just can't wait to actually get a physical copy of this just for the artwork. It looks amazing. Right, let's get on to some new stuff. So there will be Shinies in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, which was confirmed with the description of the friend bow, and it states that when this item is equipped, Pokemon you battle will be more likely to join you, as it always has been. That's what the friend bow does in the original games. It also said that shiny Pokemon will want to join you too. It's only effective when the leader equips it though. So now, we've had shiny Pokemon in Mystery Dungeon in the past, with shiny Celebi from Explorers and shiny Ho-Oh from Gates to Infinity, and the WiiWare Mystery Dungeon games had shiny Pokemon that can be found in the dungeon, and it seems like this feature is finally returning and making an appearance in a core Mystery Dungeon game for the first time. I wonder if we'll be able to encounter some shiny legendary Pokemon. Additionally, if the friend bow only increases the chance of recruiting shiny Pokemon, it's going to be very disappointing if any shiny gets away from us. But this is very exciting. Would love to see someone try and collect every shiny Pokemon in the game. I'm sure someone will do that, maybe even me, but very doubtful. Now one of the best things about the original Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games were friend areas, which were different places to accommodate your rescue team members. Now a lot of them looked absolutely stunning, and some even had very mysterious origins. Now for whatever reason, they never returned in the next Mystery Dungeon installment, which was Explorers of Time, Darkness and Sky. And yeah, that was a real shame, as friend areas were fan favourite. I remember being incredibly disappointed. I love Explorers, it's my favourite Mystery Dungeon game, but friend areas would have made that game an 11 out of 10. It's already a 10 out of 10, but it would have made it 11 out of 10 for sure. Now thankfully, we'll be seeing friend areas return in the form of rescue camps. So for whatever reason they've been renamed, but I'm sure they'll stay mostly the same. Now we actually have some artwork of friend areas, which is great to see. So with a general overview artwork, we can see a lot of familiar areas such as Bow Plains, the Crater, Decrepit Lab, Western Isles, and many more. Now in a data mine of the demo, backgrounds of friend areas have also been found, which look really good. They're like painted backgrounds, so it's going to be very interesting to see how these friend areas look in 3D, or maybe they won't be 3D at all, which we'll talk about at the last point of this video. Now another thing we know about these games is that there will be Pokemon from Generation 4 and up in the game. So since Spike Chunsoft have all the models from Pokemon up to Gen 6 from Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, we know they can include any Pokemon they want from that list. Now Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue and Red Rescue Team came out in Generation 3, which is actually kind of crazy how long ago these games came out. There were a few references to the upcoming Generation 4 games back then, with the Lucario rank, the appearance of Munchlax in the town, and some statues of other Generation 4 Pokemon like Bonsly, Mime Jr., Lucario, and Weavile. Now all these Pokemon would be making an appearance in the 8th Pokemon movie, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, which is my personal favourite Pokemon movie. But that aside, we know that there are 3 Pokemon that weren't originally in the original games that will be making an appearance in this remake. These Pokemon are Lucario, Togekiss, and Sylveon. So Lucario was the only Pokemon out of these 3 in the trailer that was not originally playable in the original games. Now people have found Togekiss in Makuhita's dojo. When playing as Bulbasaur, it puts you in the Poison dojo, and that's one of the Pokemon that appears, so you can try it yourself in a demo if you want. And finally, through data mining the demo, Sylveon is confirmed to be in the game, meaning that if you pick Eevee, then you can evolve it to Sylveon later on. Whilst it's great we're getting Pokemon that didn't originally make an appearance in the original games, it would be nice to see some Pokemon make their Mystery Dungeon debuts, like Pokemon from Generation 7 and 8. Now since Pokemon Generation 8 is relatively brand new, don't expect any Generation 8 Pokemon quite yet. However, it's definitely possible we could see some Generation 7 Pokemon. Hopefully that happens, but we'll have to wait and see on the full game release. Now a nice little feature which I'm hopefully assuming everyone has noticed who've downloaded the demo for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX is that you can admire the artwork by pressing the minus button on the Switch. So this was something that was present in Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, and maybe even Gates, but I never even played that game and probably never going to. But there's another thing to note about these artworks. They've actually remastered the artwork from the original games by adding scarves to all the characters and changing Pikachu's old design to the more modern one. I miss Chubby Pikachu. Honestly, the original artwork with Chubby Pikachu was really nice. But yeah, it still looks fine. You can see how it differs just ever so slightly. And additionally, there are some new pieces of artwork that look really, really good. Nothing beats Pokemon Mystery Dungeon artwork. Next up is a new change to the IQ system. And by change, I mean they've got rid of it entirely. Your partner's AI is now up to Super's quality, which is much better than the originals. However, gummies are still in the game, as we can see from these images. As far as I'm aware at the moment, there are only 2 gummies in the game, replacing the usual coloured gummies. These are the DX gummy and the Rainbow gummy, which will give you rare qualities, which are passive effects very similar to stuff like you'd have when you'd equipped Emeras in Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. Now there are a lot of rare qualities to go over, so I'm going to make a dedicated video about rare qualities, but some of the things you can expect are stuff like items can be bought at lower prices from shops and dungeons, Pokemon are more likely to become your friends, the more enemies that are in a room, the more powerful your moves will be, and so on. There's a lot to go over, and a lot of interesting effects that will help us out in dungeons, so stay tuned for that video sometime this week. It's definitely going to be worth your attention. Now Mega Evolutions were added in the last Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game, Super Mystery Dungeon, and were a lot of fun to use. Thankfully, the team have decided to carry this feature over to these remakes, as we saw Charizard Mega Evolve into Mega Charizard X. To Mega Evolve in these games, you'll need to consume an Empowerment Seed. This is different from Super Mystery Dungeon, as you need an Awakening Emera to Mega Evolve, but essentially it's the same process. So if you were playing as a Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, such as of course Charizard, Alakazam, Tyranitar, then eating the Empowerment Seed will make you Mega Evolve. And if you consume the seed as a Pokemon that can't Mega Evolve, it will still be useful as it will boost your stats. I'm assuming these seeds are going to be extremely rare, maybe something you can only find in dungeon. Normally you couldn't take Emeras out of dungeons, so such as you couldn't take the Awakening Emera out and keep it to Mega Evolve later. Maybe Empowerment Seeds are something you can't take out of dungeons, you just have to find. Or maybe there's something you can buy, they're just going to be extremely expensive. Now as someone who is a big fan of Mega Evolutions, I'm really glad to see them not being forgotten about, just like they have been in the main series games of late. Now a big change coming back to Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX is that recruiting Pokemon is back to usual, which means that there is no connection orb like the one from Super Mystery Dungeon. Now this is something that a lot of fans have been wanting. Essentially the old recruitment method is once you beat a Pokemon and you own its friend area, it has a low percentage of joining your team, with the friend bow helping to improve these odds. Now I actually like the connection orb, especially since there were so many Pokemon to recruit in Super Mystery Dungeon. However, since there won't be as many Pokemon this time around, it's fair to say the old recruitment method makes the most sense. Next up, there's been a very nice quality of life improvement, which is you can pick your partner's gender. So for example, in the originals, if you chose Eevee, it would always be female. Even if you played as an Eevee, it would always be female. So now you can pick a male Eevee, and not only that, they've added gender differences as well. So you can play as a female Pikachu and a female Eevee, which also has a heart tail, which was actually added recently in Let's Go Eevee. That's the first time we ever saw that. So this is something that's been kind of added very recently, and it's really nice to see they've kept that detail in. And finally, a very interesting thing has been found when data mining these games. This is something that I mentioned earlier that it might make sense with friend areas, and this is that high quality sprites have been found that were used in the original DS Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. Now a lot of fans like me have a strong love of the old sprite style, and whilst the new 3D graphics are nice, nothing really beats the old sprites for me. I've always wanted to be able to switch between the sprite art style and 3D graphics, and we saw something like that with the newest Dragon Quest game on Nintendo Switch. Now unfortunately I don't see this happening with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but these sprites might have a use in the game somewhere, Maybe in the rescue camp, since they are painted backgrounds, it might make sense to have like a sprite based thing, similar to the original friend areas which had painted backgrounds as well. Or maybe they were just using these sprites to test out parts of the game. Sometimes it is a common thing to leave files that you were using to test stuff in, but it is weird to have high resolution sprites in a new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game. Why are they there? Maybe we will get to change the artwork and the art style, but I highly doubt that. But either way, it's something to keep an eye out, and I'll probably make a full video on all the sprites that were found soon, because there may or may not have been a Grovyle and Shiny Celebi sprite found in the files of this game. Very exciting stuff, maybe hinted towards an Explorers remake. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But guys, those are 10 things you need to know about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to hit the like button down below. It's super appreciated. And if you want to stay up to date with everything Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below to become a part of the Twintendo Nation. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you on the next video. Peace!